This report just in. Hollywood makes mistakes with guns. Today, special bulletin, we will talk about tropes that Hollywood has relied on for years. But fortunately, the good news is they appear to be getting better. I am Max, and this is Fun with Guns. Welcome aboard. It's been well established throughout the history of Hollywood that they have made plenty of mistakes where firearms are concerned. Sometimes people would be inclined to think that they were flat out lazy or inept, or perhaps both. Evidence is not to the contrary. Amongst their many mistakes are the use of endless ammunition, or what are colloquially known as Hollywood magazines. Guns that never have to be reloaded. Trust me, people, that's not the way it works in the real world. Good news is Hollywood appears to be getting better. Numerous new productions have shown repeated reloadings, sometimes even difficulty in reloadings. Sometimes it's even made difficulty in reloading a big part of the plot, and this is showing that Hollywood is starting to pay attention. Another one of their many foibles has been the fact that the guns never recoil. Blanks do not have recoil as they are not putting anything out the end of the barrel. However, real guns kick, and some of them kick a lot. Actors have been trained to try and mimic recoil, but the human hand simply cannot reflect the way an actual recoil of a gun does due to the combustive force inside. And with prop guns using semi-automatics or fully automatics, trying to mimic recoil can cause the prop gun to malfunction. Ergo, many people have resorted to using digital effects. It is safer, but unfortunately less realistic. Which brings up the next point, muzzle flash. Hollywood has been proven to love its muzzle flash. Unfortunately for Hollywood and realism, except at certain times of day or evening, muzzle flashes simply aren't that bright. That's why guns have flash suppressors on them. However, Hollywood has acknowledged this and admits that they put the unusually large muzzle flashes on the guns simply because movies are a visual medium, and people like to see big flashy guns go bangity bangity bang, flashity flashity flash. This has been considered forgivable. Accuracy. One of the worst tropes about Hollywood in the past has been accuracy. People shooting from the hip or shooting on the run. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever go to an IPSC match or a cowboy action match, there are two things they don't do. They don't drink alcohol and they don't shoot on the run for two reasons. One, safety. Second, accuracy. Hollywood has acknowledged it is also guilty of another trope that is very common in all of its westerns, and that is that every cowboy is armed with a Colt 45 Peacemaker. Frankly, that was simply not the way it was. In fact, many PC officers even preferred Schofields, Remingtons, and Smith & Wessons to Colts. They were not the only gun in the West, nor was it the gun that won the West. Quite arguably, that trophy should go to the shotgun. Stopping power. Hollywood has this fascination with guns that knock people back 10 or 20 or 30 feet or make them explode. That is not the way it works. People do not go flying backwards because they are hit by a bullet. But then again, Hollywood does love its action. It is a visual medium and they need broken glass and flying bodies to sell theater tickets. In further news, Hollywood has finally admitted that they know nothing about bullet penetration. They have people hiding behind furnitures and doors that would not have a prayer of stopping a bullet, yet mysteriously wooden tables and even card tables in some cases have managed to stop bullets for the good guys, but never for the bad guys. However, with that very same gun, sometimes they're able to shoot through walls, so go figure. They're not even consistent in their own universe. The simple reality is that many car doors, especially on modern cars that are made of lighter materials, will not stop a modern bullet. And certainly most furniture will not. In fact, the walls of most houses will not. Hollywood has admitted that they will recreate the laws of physics as necessary to move the story along to their liking. Experts in Hollywood have further admitted that they're keenly aware that bullets do not cause cars to explode. However, this old trope has become so popular that they simply cannot let it go. Factually speaking, an engine block is a very large piece of steel and a gun shoots a very small piece of lead. Generally speaking, it is virtually impossible to take out a moving automobile with a small gun, unless of course you hit the driver, as Dirty Harry demonstrated in Dirty Harry. It is equally, if not more difficult to hit and especially shoot down an aircraft. Although aircraft, especially helicopters, are extremely susceptible to ground fire and small arms fire, they must be hit in the right place. And although many aircraft have been lost in combat to small arms fire, it was usually a great deal of small arms fire, frequently fired by machine guns, not some guy running around the desert by himself with a .38 snub nose. Further admitted that they know nothing about accuracy because they have guys with short barrel revolvers getting off 200-yard shots. Although they're not as bad about that as they used to be, it does still occasionally happen. The simple fact is, most people miss. Also, unlike Hollywood, the bad guys do not always miss and the good guys do not always hit. This favorite trope of Hollywood has left everyone with the belief that the good guys are invincible and the bad guys are basically red shirts. This is not the case. Also, the post-shooting walk-off. Hollywood has this idea that people can shoot someone and then simply tell what happened to the local cop and walk away. Clearly, they have never heard of a grand jury. And of course, underwater bullets. Hollywood has a fascination with shooting people underwater, even though bullets in reality travel less than 11 feet underwater. And if a weapon is fired underwater, the bullet usually stops within 7 feet, losing its lethality long before then. However, no one's going to let that get in the way of good storytelling. Isn't that right, Michael Bay? But for those writers, producers, and directors out there who do make the effort to get it right, who show reloads, recoil, and the good guy missing, thank you. And that's the way it is, that's the way it was, and most likely that's the way it will be. I am Captain Max with Fun with Guns. By all means, please, be safe.